has taken some steps to meet some of the criticisms. What do you think of the package they've come up with?
Well, there's some minor steps. So they're important, but they're minor. I mean, out of 550,000 com data collections, the collections of information on people in 2010, the last year we have, a few thousand of those were local authorities and so on. The vast majority were still the police and the agencies. And what's being proposed here is they're going to do the same thing for Skype, for internet, for emails, internet accesses and so on. And this is a huge amount of information, very intrusive to collect on people. It's not content, but it's incredibly intrusive.
Now, why is it that you don't believe the government's assertion that there will be controls in this to make sure that nobody is snooped upon unless there is a reasonable suspicion that they're involved in something illegal?
Well, firstly, you're going to collect the data for everybody. That's the plan. Secondly, when I was Shadow Home Secretary, was told by members of the Surveillance Commission that the controls were inadequate, by the people who actually did the checks on them. The guy at the next desk was the phrase used to me. If they really want to do things like this, and we all accept that you use data to catch criminals, get a warrant. Get a judge to sign a warrant, not the guy at the next desk, not somebody else in the same organisation.
So effectively you're saying that it's self-regulated, and it means that the police, intelligence services and others will be able at will to go into anyone's telephone records, their browsing habits, their emails and the Skype and so on.
In effect, the only people who will avoid being covered by this, are the actual criminals. Because there are ways around this. You use a prepaid phone, you use an internet cafe, you hack into somebody's Wi-Fi, you use what's called proxy servers, and those are just the easy ways. There are harder ways too. And actually the 7/7 bombers went round it. Organised criminals go round it. Organised paedophile rings go round it. What this will catch is the innocent and the incompetent.
And how many searches of this kind of material do you say there were last year?
In 2010, I think 550,000 all told. About 500,000 of those, or just over that, from the agencies.
David Davis, for the moment, thank you very much. We're joined by the Home Secretary, Theresa May. Good morning.
Good morning.
When you were in opposition, your party spent a good deal of time criticising the last government for bringing us to the condition of a surveillance state. Why are you now going further than even they did?
Well, what we're doing is ensuring that in future the police and the security service are going to be able to continue catching criminals and stopping terrorists.
But you are going beyond what you once said was unacceptable.
No, what we said was unacceptable was for the government to do this, to extend this capability into the modern new communications, and to do that by creating a central government database. That is not what is happening as a result of this bill. What we are doing is saying that we want to ensure that the capability that the police and security service have at the moment to catch criminals, to stop paedophile rings, to put people behind bars, and to stop terrorists, is able to continue in a world where people are communicating through different means.
Well,
the current capabilities are obviously used in telephony, mobile telephones and so forth. This is not about content. It's not about listening to people's telephone calls or reading their emails.
It's about knowing who you've called.
It is about knowing who has made the call, who they've called, and when they did so. These are crucial bits of information.
Okay, most people probably will be surprised to know that there were 500,000 inquiries of this kind in 1 year. Why is it on such a scale?
It's on such a scale because this is useful information that is used by the police to
500,000 people.
Well, no, it's not 500,000 people. Let's be absolutely clear about this. This is 500,000 requests for this information, and that may actually cover a number of requests being made in relation to people in a
Sorry,
same case.
Let me just be clear about this. You're saying there were 500,000 requests for information of this kind in 1 year?
Yes, but let's just look at the sort of cases.
More than 1,000 a day.
Let's just look at the sort of cases that this is enabling the police to deal with. If you look at that terrible case in Rochdale recently of the grooming of young girls for sex, access to communications data, that's what we're talking about. That was an important part of building that case and being able to catch those criminals.
Right.
We know that the child exploitation and online protection Centre, CEOP, is already saying that there are some paedophiles out there that they're not able to catch because they can't have access to the new data because they're using different methods of communication.
Well,
what this is doing is updating the ability of the police and the security service to be able to catch criminals and stop terrorists.
I don't think anybody listening is going to try to impede the police in catching criminals. The question is they worry about what David Davis called, the guy at the next desk just saying, oh, well, old Joe Boggs, let's find out what he's up to. Why, if this is so important and so serious, should it not be subject to proper supervision by means of a warrant or something from a magistrate or someone senior?
Well, it is subject to proper rules which operate within police forces about who can authorise.
But they regulate
this.
themselves.
It is it's regulated by, it is overseen by the Information Commissioner. It's also overseen by the Interception of Communications Commissioner. So there are people there who are looking at how this is being used, making sure that this is being done properly.
So,
and when David Davis says that the people who this is going to catch are innocent people and it's not going to catch the criminals, he couldn't be more wrong. This is about catching criminals. It's about ensuring the police continue to have that ability. The Commissioner of the Metropolitan Police has written today to say that that this is a vital tool for the police, and there are occasions when this is about nothing more nor less than life or death.
No, we're sure that is true from time to time, and it's quite clear that the police would like to have power to get more information. The question is, what is the right relationship between an individual and the state in a free society? And do you accept that you're taking a big step down a road which you once described as very dangerous?
No, what I accept is that what we're doing is trying to update an ability which the police already have. This is something that they are able to do at the moment in relation to mobile telephones. As people start communicating in different ways, we want to update that ability. This is something that helps to keep citizens safe by catching criminals.
Home Secretary, thank you very much. David Davis is still with us in the studio. What is your reaction to that?
Well, firstly, if you talk about things she's got wrong, this is exactly the same thing that was criticised in Labour in 2009. They went from a centralised operation to this, and we attacked it, and very fiercely. And actually, David Cameron attacked it. Secondly, he says this is all terribly serious, ultra-serious people, 500,000 times a year, ultra-serious. Thirdly, look, of course you catch people using this information. You convict burglars from finding stolen property in their houses. Nobody argues that for that reason you throw away warrants and actually search anybody's house. So it's a question of using it properly. None of this actually deals with... I actually had a letter from a master criminal, a guy who was put away for 38 years in prison, explaining how he got round all this stuff. So the really tough targets will get away with this. If she really believes this isn't serious and it's not, there's no content and so on, why doesn't she publish the data for the cabinet for the last 2 years? You'll see how serious it is then. It's very intrusive data.